I'm not gonna lie, the phone gives good quality though, man. Look at this.
Yo,
Look at
I'm
this.
telling you, the phone is nice. Like if you
Yeah,
can get the phone, bro,
yeah,
it's the thing. So like I was telling you before, like if you have just your phone so you can see me, and then have your actual camera pointed
yeah.
at you,
For
and then
the for
just
the YouTube, right? Yeah,
yeah, YouTube.
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
already have my
Yeah, I think that's a
on my
great idea. And you know what? I'm just gonna change this lighting a little bit. Yeah, man. But hey, let me tell you something, man. Moving this motherfucking bookshelf from where I'm sitting now to over there,
over
dude. The hardest thing is getting stuck with all them books, man. I'm like, damn. Oh, I love this book. Oh, I love this book. Oh, I love this. Yeah, it's crazy,
there. Are
man.
those
We
all
got to talk
cooking
about
books?
that. Oh yeah, yeah, bro. And that's what
Wow.
I got rid of a lot of them too, man. I had too much, man. Like I don't know. As soon as we started transferring to like ebooks and Kindle and all that, I don't know.
Switch to
But
more.
I love cookbooks, man. I love like looking through them and gathering inspiration. So
Mhm. I don't have too many. I have this coffee book, the black book.
yeah,
You have
yeah.
Martha
I got
Stewart, OG Martha
yep.
Stewart, bro.
OG. Listen, man, people be hating on. Listen, I hate to say it, but like, somebody gave me shit for having my Rachel Ray book. I have a signed
Oh,
Rachel Ray
bro.
book, and
Rachel
and
is
listen,
off.
I try to tell people all the time, man, like, yo, don't hate on anybody who's cooking. It doesn't matter if they're a chef or not or TV personality. You can learn something from anybody. Just like if you're in a restaurant, bro. I swear to God, I've learned so many things from little dishwashers about culture, about this.
Mm,
And so, but anyway, Rachel Ray signed this book, and like, it's funny because like there's some good recipes in there, and for me, it's kind of like I don't, I never judge a book by its cover. I never
mhm.
like look down upon anybody because they're on TV or because they're not a chef. Man, I think that's so close-minded. You
It
know?
is very minded. My
Yeah.
favorite all time is Ina Garten. I love that
Oh
woman.
yeah,
I
dude. Yeah, she's
love
dude,
her.
amazing. You know what? Especially because like where her location was in the United States, I think it was like Maine or something, right? Like up north.
Yeah, they were in the Hamptons. Freaking crazy
That's
ass,
right. Yeah.
insane. Just I mean, they got the best of both worlds in my opinion. That's just like primo spot over there.
Yeah.
East, but yeah, man. All right. Are
Cool.
we well, I mean we're starting right now, so I think we'll just go right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to another episode of the podcast. We got Brandon, and
Yeah.
we are gonna talk about today because like okay, I had this little thing, right? So I want to start with this off with what the fuck is up with everybody putting cheese on everything? Can you just explain to
Yeah.
me like why do we have to
So
put cheese on so many dishes? Like what's the thing about dairy?
yeah, you know what? Listen, man, I know exactly what you're saying, man. The cheese in the ramen, the cheese on this, the cheese on that. I'll be honest, man. I'm lactose intolerant for sure. I'll never admit it, but I
Mm,
have a cheese, man. We talked about this before, man. Dairy fucks me up. But
yeah.
see, this is the problem, Casey, is like the younger generation, they presume that this is good, right? This cheese all over
Yeah.
everything. Listen, I went to this food fair, this Bay Area Foodie Fest or whatever, and you should have seen the dumbass food I saw as a chef. Like these
Oh, bro,
trending,
I can
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
oh yeah, these trending ass, like there was a couple good food vendors, but then there was some vendors there just specifically there for like TikTok trends that are they're changing things up. They're giving people what they want. But like I got to be honest, this is all for entertainment. This is not longevity type of food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was I it's funny because as a chef I picked out like 4 or 5 really good food stands. All of
Mhm.
the other ones, I'm like, okay, get out of here. I'm not eating that. It's like some people eat crap that is just absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a corn dog that's dipped in hot Cheetos, finished with nacho cheese sauce, with a pound and a half of butter on it. And it's funny and it's entertaining and it looks good for Instagram, but there's a difference, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me and like I would never serve this in a restaurant. Like, absolutely
Nope.
not. Like nope. Matter of fact, I'm not eating this, man. Like, like it's just it is what it is. We have to separate ourselves from entertainment and also like super foodie trends. You know what I'm saying? I think that
Mhm.
these trends come around, but they don't stay for long, man. It'll come in and then it comes
Yeah.
out.
I just
I
feel
mean,
like
listen,
I need to make a video of fucking cheese and just my shit will just blow the fuck up. Just because
I
I
mean,
made
yeah,
some
dude. I'm not gonna lie.
silly.
Piggyback off the trend. Piggyback off the trend. Do it, man. Like But at the same time, like we all know, come on, man, putting cheese in ramen, come on, man, come on, get out of here, bro, come on, no. I mean, listen,
Oh,
I've done it before. And I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. Like I put American cheese, a piece of American cheese on my instant ramen back in the day, but it's because I kind of didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
and yeah, but you know what? It's all good, man. These trends come. Listen, I'm gonna make a video on this. Like, yo, for all my young chefs and culinarians, please do not believe what you see on TikTok. Okay, trust me. Okay, because homeboy that decided to
cheese.
rinse the homeboy that decided to rinse the risotto rice missed out on a job opportunity. Okay, because I'm
Um,
sorry. Yeah, and you know what? Listen, KC, it's not his fault. It wasn't his fault. But like,
that's
you know,
true.
I'm on vacation right now, and I needed help with a party, and I had to, and the thing is just for everybody that's listening, I was, this young chef, right, came to work with me, right. He seen my work on TikTok, whatever. And I'm not going to put him on blast, but I asked him to make a truffle risotto or risotto in general, right? Super simple, easy to do. A chef just to see if you can cook. They'll ask you to make an omelet or a piece of fish or cook a piece of protein. Well, guess what? As soon as I saw him rinsing the rice in the sink, okay, for risotto, okay, listen, I was taken aback and I was like, hey, why are you rinsing that rice? And he's like, well, that's what I learned on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, here, let me bring you back to reality. We don't rinse risotto rice, and this is the reason why, because you need the natural starch to develop the creaminess in that risotto. And I totally get it. If you go on the internet and you cook your rice without washing it, you're gonna get hammered in the comments. But the thing is there's a difference between risotto rice and short grain sushi rice. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I try to tell people, don't believe anybody you hear on TikTok if they don't have the credentials to back it up. I'm
Mhm.
not saying I'm not saying it's not right for like a home cook to share their twist on a recipe. But like, man, when you're in a restaurant environment and you do some dumbass shit like that, you're getting put on the back burner, bro, and you're not getting that job and you're gonna be humiliated because the restaurant industry is ruthless. And I'm
Yes.
telling you, that's why you have to tread lightly. You have to make sure, like if you're learning how to bake, if you're learning how to be a chef from the internet, just be careful with the information that you get.
Mhm.
But
Now,
yeah.
did you put them on saute for fucks and giggles? Is that what it is?
No, no. Basically, I needed help with the private event, and I needed hands because I didn't want to be like physically. I'm on vacation, so I had to orchestrate it. But it was actually very quick. And listen, I hate to say it, but my decision was made right then and there. Like, okay, no, I need a chef. I don't need a prep cook guy. I don't need.
Mhm.
But and it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like this is a common error that I see where people believe what they see on the internet or they learn something off YouTube. And I'm like, you have to understand that people do this to get views. People make dumb shit to get views, and this is entertainment. This is not what's in the real world, right? And I felt bad, but like that's the reason why I want to do what that's the reason why I try to educate sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because like me and you have the credentials to back it up. Like, hey, okay, no, this is the proper way to do something. Do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
I will teach you the proper way. And then, from there you can take the ball and do whatever you want because you learn the proper way. But like, yo, don't let it, don't believe what you see on TikTok and translate that to your work environment because, it's sucks because like,
No, it
you know,
really
it,
does.
it- yeah. And it's unfortunate because I know it was embarrassing for him, but at the same time, it was a good lesson. And,
Well,
it
you
is what
meant
it is,
well.
man.
You were trying to teach.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm not, I hate that, bro. I used to get screamed at when I was a chef. I don't know about you, but when I was a young cook, man, I used to get screamed at, especially at Cafe Blue. Oh my Lord, have mercy. For no reason, bro. Like top of the lungs, screaming. And I remember thinking in my head, like, yo, chef, like, honestly, I remember saying this to him. I'm like, hey, chef, listen, you could just tell me. Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to like scream. Like, there's no reason to like just completely lose your shit. Like, you know what it was? He went on my station and he found the spinach, the stems weren't picked, right? I used to
Oh,
have to
fuck out
pick the
here.
stems on spinach. I used to have to pick the stems on spinach. And my argument was like, hey, chef, it's baby spinach. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
like old. I remember picking spinach when I was a young prep cook when it was big leaves, but now they make baby spinach. And
Yeah.
and like, dude, Sous Chef totally lost his
Unnecessary.
mind. totally lost his mind. And I'm like, okay, like, dude, whatever. And I used to make this thing called a spinach soubrique. And it was like this classic French dish where I used to lay the leaves out and then I would make a spinach custard and I would wrap it. But anyway, like the point I was trying to get across is like, as a chef, I told myself when I become a leader, I am not going to treat people like that. And I did
Yeah.
for a while. I did for a few years, but I'll tell you what, Casey, I can get somebody to do the same exact job. No problem. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is not to go on a rant, but like you want people to want to work for you, right?
Yeah. I'd be
You don't
afraid
want,
of
you
you.
want to exactly, man. And I'm telling you, I've gotten so much more with honey instead of vinegar, you know?
My favorite was for salmon. I didn't pick it well enough, or rather, you know, that little silver skin. He didn't like that, so chef was like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Chef, I mean, I can fillet it some more if you want." He's like, "No, that's not what we do here," and it just, he just proceeded. And Brandon, the dude is like right here. He's like a foot away from me. He's yelling. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Hey, we got a salty chef. What's up, salty? How are you,
Oh,
man?
what's up? What's up, Salty Chef?
We got the
Salty
other
Chef
guy.
in the house,
Man.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
love Salty Chef,
Chilling.
man. That's my homie.
This
Yeah,
is the
dude.
homie.
You know what? It's so funny you say that because I remember when Danielle Ballou was yelling because we didn't drop the pommes frites. You know, and the hot app guy was just he was just like, you know how sometimes when you get so busy, you're overwhelmed. Dude, this
Yeah.
guy, man. And I was gonna drop the fries. Like I work very well under pressure. Well, some people don't. And the fact that Daniel Blue was there, like, just made him like fucking freak out, started losing his shit. And the chef was like, "Hey, drop the fries. Where's the fries? Drop the fries." And he didn't respond. And chef said it like 6 times. And then Daniel Blue just runs to the window and like starts pounding his fist, dude. And is like, "He told you to drop the fucking fries. Drop the fucking fries." Like just
I can picture him too saying that. I think it's
yeah,
fucking
and like,
crazy.
hey, and all I did was I reached in the dude's drawer, I grabbed a handful of fries, dropped them in the fryer, and then boom, it's done. Like I'm like, yes, chef, we chef, and then after work, I was like, yo, like he was crying like a little bitch, and I'm like, listen to what I'm telling you. If you just do the job and say yes, chef, right now, chef, it doesn't matter. You can't control how much they're yelling at you. You just have to do it, and boom, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
You don't have to argue. You don't have to just say, what is the chef going to say when you say, we chef, yes, chef, right now?
Yeah.
Like, he ain't going to say nothing. Hold on, I got to freaking have my earbud. But, okay, sorry. My earbud just,
You up.
yeah.
That's what could happen. You'd be like, fuck out of my line. Next.
Yeah. I mean, listen, bro, I've been through so many situations as a young cook and as a leader, being yelled at as a leader. And I've worked with a lot of French and European people, and they have zero filter. Zero. Like, they just, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the way they speak and the way the dialect works, they do not beat around the bush. And you know, it is what it is. And I just feel like you know, nowadays I don't use that type of leadership style at all. And I deal with people that fuck up big time. You know what I'm saying? Like literally
Yeah.
make mistakes. And I'm just like, you know what? Listen, this is learn from this, and then I hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? You have to hold people accountable, especially cooks and young line cooks. Like you got to make sure they know that you haven't forgot about the lesson. You know?
That's pretty much it, I think.
So
Like as long as you hold them accountable, that's all that's gonna take.
yeah,
No yelling needed. That's just I don't know. I
exactly,
don't
man.
yell.
And you can't do that shit anymore. Yeah. Bo,
Imagine throwing
let's
pans.
oh my Lord, man. Like I'm
I
sorry,
got
but you
pans
want to
thrown
throw
back
this
at me.
you know what I used to do? You know what I used to say? That you know, whenever I wanted to relieve stress or if I was, you know, about to blow up, I would just kick the trash can. Kick the shit out of the trash can. Just kick it. Right? Trash can ain't gonna hurt you. It ain't gonna fight back. It doesn't need a lawyer. Just literally kick the trash can when you feel frustrated.
He doesn't
And
need
I'm
a
telling
lawyer.
you, yo, it works, bro. It works. I'm telling you. Like I'm telling you, kick the trash can, bro. Try it. You get pissed one day, just kick the trash can. Just like, you know,
I'll try it.
you know. Yeah,
I'll
it's just, you
definitely
know, that was like my outlet of like, you know,
try it.
like I don't know, in a restaurant, like when I used to expo and I would like, you know, lead the line, I used to get so frustrated that the servers and the food runners didn't care as much as I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, and what I realized is like, you know, they're not managing this place. They are working, they're in college, they're this, they're that. There's so many you have to, you know, you have to take in consideration that, you know, they're not ownership. They don't own the restaurant. You know, they're not
Yeah.
managing, you know, they're not like a leader. This is, and this was so frustrating for me because they would like be lollygagging and like, they wouldn't take their job seriously. And, it was
Yeah.
very hard for me to navigate that in a serious situation, but it built me into being a better chef ultimately.
Now, from salty, I actually do this myself. I scream no walking.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that, salty
I
chef.
do the
Yes,
same shit.
yes,
The
yeah.
same shit.
You
Oh
know
my
what?
god.
I've done that before. Yeah, because like sometimes you get overwhelmed, and there's nothing you can do about it except, and everybody's looking, like everybody. Oof, it's rough, but that's a good one. Yeah, I remember. Actually, it was just recently. It was back last year on New Year's, and it was, dude, it was rough, man. It was rough, man.
Oh,
And
New Year's.
sometimes the workload is just so overbearing. You're just kind of like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna, I'm like a hammer looking for a nail, man. Just like just trying to get the job done. And I was working with somebody who threw the blinis away for the caviar, and I had no blini
Oh
batter
my
left.
god.
I had a half tray of blinis, okay, and we were doing past apps, and it was super like, it was super high. It was very high profile event, and
Mm.
I was like, hey, go ahead and start cleaning the kitchen. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm gonna just go make sure the guests are okay, blah blah blah. And said person asked, one of the guests asked for more caviar blinis. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got, go back right now. And then I go back, no blinis, bro. Like, I'm like, what the fuck happened to this? What happened? Who threw this away? And then nobody wanted to fess up. Before even getting upset, I just, I start making blini batter right away. Right. I get it
Yeah.
down, get a pan down. And, it's crazy because then like the two other cooks started bickering back and forth, like because one of the cooks
Oh.
knew that he threw him in the trash, and then the
Mm.
other cook didn't want, and then he goes, and then he's like, I could see him through the peripheral vision, like covering up the blinis in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, you know what? I ain't got time for that shit, man. We gotta go right here. And so I'm like, hey, stop crying, just go get the caviar. And I'm super
Yeah.
calm and collective. But then I remember after that, I went to walk in, and I was just like so frustrated because it was like, I was at hour 6. I was at hour 16 and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like it was time for
Wow.
me to, yeah, you know how it is.
I do.
So
Who the fuck ran out of Bellinis?
yeah, I was like, yo, I
Let's
was like, okay,
go.
somebody who's away. I'm like, don't, and that's the thing, you don't ever throw away the food. You just set it aside. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just set it aside just in case you get a refire. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but anyway, lesson
Silly.
learned. Now I know from next time, and that's how you move on with chefing it.
Did you fire him?
No, I never,
No.
worked with him
Um,
again. No.
oh, okay. So low key fired. It's okay. You can say it. Just
Yeah.
blink
So
twice.
basically, once you get crossed off the list, that's it, bro. There's no coming back. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I put that trust up front, and then that's it. Once it happens, because here's the thing:
Mm,
like when I host events, I need a chef. I need somebody who's elite level. You know what I'm saying? Or at least sous chef or above. And so there's this expectation of grabbing the wheel and being able to just cook, right,
yeah.
and take direction. I don't want to waste time like showing somebody how to cut lettuce. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. It's just the way it has to be. But anyway, that's it is what it is. But once you get crossed off the list, that's it. Game over.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see it on my arm anymore. Sort of can. I have a really big burn mark right here. So one of my
Ooh.
cooks left the convection oven open. This fucker didn't tell me it was open, so I turned around with I think like 2 trays of like sizzles. I was about to put in crab cakes. He didn't tell me. My arm went right into the oven. Obviously, I
Mm.
dropped food, and I'm like, just go away. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now in the nicest way possible. Your shift is over. Good night. He was like,
Dude.
what? I was like, bro, just you're leaving today. He's like, am I fired? I was like, in the nicest way possible, get off the line before I scream at you. You just burn my arm.
Yeah.
All you
Yeah.
have to say is
Yep.
behind oven open. Like that's all you have to say. And I
Yeah.
mentioned this to him a few times already. It's a habit of his. He's not saying that.
Yeah.
You burn whatever, and he just happened to do it to me on a Saturday night. I'm like, you're out today.
Yeah.
So
Get the fuck out.
anyway,
Like, Casey,
but
that makes a good point. Like there's proper kitchen etiquette. You know what I'm saying? If as far as working with others. Actually, that's a good TikTok video idea. Kitchen
mhm,
etiquette.
definitely is. Like just the purpose of saying behind or hey, something's hot or knife behind you or
Yeah.
something, some bullshit. You always have to look
Yeah.
out for the next person. It's not just a you thing. You're
You know,
fucking
you know
working
what
with.
my big you know what my biggest thing is like, yo, clean up after your own shit. Clean up after your
Oh
own
my
self.
god, yes.
Like, I don't want to walk around and see what you prepped. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big misconception, especially with the newer age cooks. Like, when your
Mm,
station should be 90 degrees, man. You should not have shit everywhere. And like, I in one of my biggest pet peeves was like, if the fridge was really close to the line, like, bringing the whole walk-in to your station and just leaving it, and like, if you have to go to the bathroom, if you have to get up, if you have to go somewhere, and just leaving like the plethora of shit, like too many projects at once,
mm,
man. Used to like, it was just I'm like, dude, like, you don't need, like, I understand if you want to grab, if you're prepping vegetables and you want to grab, like, carrots, celery, rutabaga, parsnip,
mm.
you grab all your vegetables, but bro, don't grab all your vegetables and then, all your proteins and all your, dude, you're wasting time. Just,
It
stay
really is.
focused on the task at hand. Like, like a good example is like time management. Like, when you're starting sauces, you get the sauces on the stove, you turn it down to
Mm,
simmer, boom. Okay, that task is finished. Then you go start your other mise en place. But like, bro, a lot of people don't, they're, what you got to realize is your station is a direct reflection of you, you know? And I
mm,
think that was one of the
absolutely.
biggest things. Yeah, one of the biggest things that used to frustrate me as a chef. Like, like, listen, if you're working the pasta station, I don't want to see flour everywhere. You have to work like you were never there, like,
Yeah.
and
Clean,
yeah, and that's the thing,
nice looking.
dude.
Like I hate
Yeah,
mess.
yeah,
Really.
yeah. And I mean, now listen, it's different if you're getting ready for Mother's Day brunch, and it's 11:30 and you're in the fucking hopper, and service starts at 12, bro. I get it. But like,
Yeah.
the thing is if you build in these good habits over time, you become so much more efficient, And
Mm,
I think the biggest thing that I want to drive home, especially with what I'm going to do in the future, is is like, not only the time management, but just the organization of mise en place and setting up and working, task completion, right? Task
absolutely.
completion. A good example, if I'm making chicken stock for in a restaurant and I'm a prep cook, okay, I have my chicken, right? I'm making my stock, I can get it on the stove, right? I want to make sure that I'm able to strain, cool it down, and get in the fridge labeled dated before I leave. So listen,
Yes.
that needs to happen at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, my AM cooks used, what they used to do, man? They would throw on the chicken stock right before they leave, so they didn't have to deal with it, right?
Oh,
And
get
I'm
the
like,
fuck.
bro, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, listen, I get it. And I know this is how we used to do it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
this needs to be bottlenecked to one person. One person needs to be
Yeah.
responsible for chicken stock, right? Right.
Mm,
You start it immediately before your 8 hour shift is over. Chicken stock is a 6 hour minimum. Like, you can get away with chicken stock depending on if it's whole birds or not. 6 hours, right? 6 hours is a good
yeah.
time. Nice, flavorful, it's perfect. And I'm like, you need to get that cool down before 8 o'clock, and it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Definitely can. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's like, because that, it's like, and then the same thing, like, if you're prepping a dish, or if you have mise en place, like, don't leave it for somebody else. Don't leave your shit around for somebody else. And then I don't know about you, but like, another thing for me was like, the hand sink, using the hand sink as a prep sink.
Oh no, I
Bitch,
don't do that. Mm,
I'd fucking lose my mind. I used to hate it, and
yeah.
I get it though, because here's the thing, on the line, especially in Las Vegas, and I remember losing 3 points for this from the health inspector because
Yeah. They had shit on the fucking sinks, didn't they?
bitch, I was
Uh,
pissed. Somebody poured. Okay, so the health inspector came. We never, with this sink, dude. I was a Nazi about keeping this sink spotless, bro. And this
yeah.
guy did. I don't know who did it, but their drink was not covered. You have to have a covered drink in Las Vegas. So anyway,
Uh,
he pours his jungle juice down the hand sink drain that has, like, chopped up fruit in it, and the straw. He wasn't thinking. They weren't thinking about it. They just dumped it down there. So there's a straw hanging out of the drain with, a cherry and whatever mixed fucking agua fresca they got up in there. And it's funny because it was just like an oversight. And we walk around, and then the health inspector's like, yeah, this is completely unacceptable. I'm like, what? And I
yeah.
go over and I see the hand sink, and there's the cherry floating with the straw sticking out the drain. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? I am so
Um,
sorry. I'm like, somebody just poured this in here. Can I get a green card? Can I get a get out of jail free card? I'm like, you could still see the ice cubes. Look. And then it's funny because she's like, well, so I'm assuming, and then, like, uh, that you could see in the trash can where there was a deli cup, it didn't have a lid. And I'm like,
mhm.
okay, all right, I see what happened here. And then, so, it was like a honest mistake. But you know what I used to do? in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, when the health department would come, I was like, yo, if you don't know what to do, if you're not going to answer my question, like I would ask specific questions that the health inspector would ask. I'm like, you need to just get out of the kitchen. You just need to leave the kitchen. They can't
Exactly.
ask they can't ask you any questions if you're not in the kitchen, right? Like,
Yo, my best hack was like when the health inspector comes in, they yell
get the
into the
fuck out.
kitchen.
Yeah.
I break everybody. I'm like, you're going on break. You're going on break.
Yeah.
Fucking everybody out. It's just me and like maybe
Yep.
the kitchen manager,
Sous
and
chefs.
we
Yeah.
will
You keep,
hold.
yep. Yeah, because you know what? Like, what I realized is after the health inspector started getting smart, they're like, okay, well, how long can this stay on the room temperature? And then that's another thing. Anything that was on the table, like, let's be honest, bro. I'm not putting tomatoes in the fridge, okay, health inspectors. I'm not doing it, right? You just
Like
completely
lemons and
F them up.
limes. It's just stupid.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and I know what they're saying, and I completely get it. But what I used to say is everything on the tabletop, throw in the garbage. They do not question anything in the trash. I don't care about the money. Throw it in the garbage because it's not
Yeah.
worth the ding, right? And it's funny story here, man. Wolfgang Puck got so mad at me, right? Because he's like, "Don't throw it away," and I'm like, "Chef, it is lukewarm right now." So
Yeah.
basically, we used to have bolognese on the stove, but not. It
Mhm.
wasn't hot. It was room temperature. So that way, when we go to pick up the pasta, right? It's pliable. It's not a brick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. But we wouldn't pull out. We would only pull out a 6 pan at a time. Let it come. Let it come to room temp, and then after lunch, it's gone. Right? It's gone. It's not even. It's not even a problem. And but hey, if a health inspector temps this, dude, you're fucked. You're
You're
fucked.
fucked. It's a
Yes.
point
And
and a
so
half, I think.
yep, everything on the tabletop, everything, even in the top, the reach in, dude, gone.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
sometimes the temp wouldn't be like 100%, and it was funny because Wolfgang was like, "Don't throw it away, it's fine. He's just checking," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm like, Chef, you're not. I understand, Chef. I love you, but you're not going to protect me when they give me a B, right? You are not going to protect me, and you're not going to be happy." And I'm like, "Trust me, let me do this. I know how to manage this. I got this." And it was crazy, but anytime health inspector come through, and I used to train. And here's the thing: I took the time to train the staff, on
Yeah.
health inspector stuff. And you know what? The thing is you can do all that, but some people just freeze and freak out, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's what happens. There's no other way to put it. For me, I'm super confident, and I know what I'm doing, so I have no problem answering questions, and also taking
Mhm.
them for the tour to kitchen. But I will be honest. Some cooks fucked it up, right? They're asking specific questions about,
Mhm.
like, okay, what if you have cold symptoms? What if you have diarrhea? Blah blah blah. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to tell your manager. Like, they're asking straight questions. Like, is this
Yeah,
a
man.
foodborne illness? And like, dude, I totally get it. And some people, hey, just can't do it. And I'm like, yo, get out,
Yeah.
get out. I'll see you. Hey, go take a lap, my
Get
guy.
out of
Go
here.
take a lap. See you in a minute. Like, don't, dude. They can't ask you outside the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Some people are just how it works.
My biggest ding is front house. They would always ask him about hand washing procedures, and they would just
Yeah,
watch. They won't even fucking like from afar. They're like, "That's not 20 seconds," and I'm like, "Fuck, bro.
yeah,
Can we get on the program? Didn't somebody just yell in health inspectors here? Like, did we not just
yeah,
understand that?" I would always get
yeah,
dinged. I'm just like, oh God, can we?
yeah.
And
It's-
I can't cut
So
front
you know
house.
what?
Yeah.
So you know what, Casey? You know what was my biggest success is having a false health inspection, right? So
Um.
yeah, I would once a month I would have we would have somebody. It wasn't a corporate position. We would just have somebody show up with a like pretending it was a health inspection, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first thing that needs to happen is the chef needs to be alerted, right? And I'm not gonna lie, we completely stopped service. Like, I didn't care because the problem is it doesn't matter. Like, all you need is 15 minutes. Stop service for 15 minutes, 20
Yeah.
minutes. And I remember one time the hotel manager got mad at me, and I remember one time other manager got mad at me, and I'm like, dude, tell the guest I will go out there right now. And I'm like, hey, listen, we're going through a health
Yeah.
inspection right now. Just bear with me. I would give chips or whatever. But
Of course.
because here's the thing, what people don't realize is, like, that's when you get crushed, when they're
Yeah.
watching the cooks cook. Because let's be honest, a cook is not
Dumb
doing
shit.
one task. They're not doing one task at a time. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
cooks are doing multiple tasks at a time. They're not going to wash their hands in between. They're not going to change their gloves in between, right? And that's why I was really happy when they made that rule that you just have to change your gloves after 4 hours, right? And
Mm,
you know, I was really happy about that. But like, you know, because in Vegas, man, like it was so strict where like you had to change your gloves after every task, and
yeah.
so to take off your gloves, wash your hands, dry your hands, then put on another pair of gloves. Come on, bro.
Mm,
Come on.
yeah.
No, come on.
Unlikely.
Yeah. But
In your county, do you guys have to use colored cutting boards?
not here in San Francisco, I'm not sure, but you know, back in LA, we used to, in Las Vegas, we used to, just to be safe, we would only use green for
Uh,
vegetables. We had
mm,
green for vegetables and for meat, and sorry, meat red, and then yellow for chicken. But in all honesty, we kept all of the raw product cornered off to one spot, and it was like a butcher spot, right?
yeah, yeah.
And
It's like
I
sun over there, etc.
over
Yeah.
there away from everything, because you know, at the end of the day, you can't trust anybody, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a quarantine spot, like, hey, you know, all the raw protein stays over here, that's it. There's no, I don't want to see any fish over here, I don't want to see,
Yeah.
unless it was like a, yeah. And that's, you know, and I think that's important, I think that's important to take in consideration. Like nowadays there's not really a butcher spot anymore, but you know, because
Mhm.
everything comes already prefab, you can get everything prefabbed, you know, including fish, like, you know. The thing is like, I think that is the biggest thing of cross contamination. That's why I highly recommend for operations to have, like big operations, to have a butcher, somebody who just focuses on the meat, because
Yeah.
meat and fish and chicken, because then you know, it's like there's no chance of cross contamination, you know.
Mm. I'm that guy currently at the restaurant. I'm the poissonnier
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
sauce at the restaurant.
Yeah, I know. You know, the problem is with a lot of restaurants, they have the management, the sous chefs and chefs, you know, taking care of the proteins. And, you know, I'm highly against that. And the reason is because I look
Mm.
at the budget. And then if you look at your time, and it's like, what are you spending your time doing? Good example, that YouTube video that just went up of Coat in New York City, Coat
Oh yeah,
Korean barbecue.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you saw it? Dude, I love that video. But you know what I didn't love? The, the executive chef, the CDC, and the executive sous chef are butchering all that meat.
Yep, they're
And
all
I'm
on the
like,
move. Yep.
yeah, and you know what? Like, I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't know if it's an ownership thing. I don't know that operation, but that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Because
Mm.
you could pay, you know, Juanito to do that, and you free up, not only free up your time, you could pay a prep crew to do that. And I promise you, if I looked at that P&L, if I looked at that pro forma, I'm telling you, I'd make it work, because where they're losing is, you know, they spend 6 hours, 6 to 10 hours, you know, butchering meat. By the time you get to service, listen, your battery is already 50%. In services, when you
Yeah,
need to be like, you know, you need to
like
be,
3,000.
yeah, that's exactly why servers come in at 4:30, servers come in at 5:30, right? That's exactly
Yeah.
why. Like, and I think it's truly like, when I change that, you know, when for working for Wolfgang Puck, all the sous chefs used to work stations, right? So stupid.
Mm.
And
That is dumb.
and And listen,
That's
I know, I totally get it, but then I remember looking at the budget. I'm like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I need the sous chef to be doing this. I need the sous chef to be doing this. I need to be doing this, not this. Like, and I
Mhm.
think all chefs, if you're in new management, if you're a chef right now, don't focus on anything else except for bringing the business more money. Okay.
Absolutely. I
I
think
don't care what
right now,
anybody says. Bro, I
I
don't care
see
what anybody says.
humor, man.
If you are a sous chef, it's a different story. I get it. You need to learn how to be your young management, you know. But if you're an executive chef or a chef de cuisine out there, get the fuck off of station, okay? Get the fuck
Mhm.
off. Do not hide behind the prep, okay? Because when you go to ask for a raise, I'm going to tell you exactly what the investor is going to say. I'm going to tell you exactly what the ownership is going to say. What have you
Mm.
done to bring me more money? When you go to ask for a
Yes.
raise, when you go to ask for a raise, you need to have an undeniable yes, right? And
Mm.
the ways I was able to do that, and it took a long time to learn, but you yourself need to show how you're valuable to the operation and how you bring more business. Doesn't necessarily mean more money, but and then just a pro tip here, that includes, you know, one of the low hanging fruit is increasing the check average per person, right? This could
Mm.
be you know, via appetizers or a couple high priced items. You know, What's popping right now is the tomahawks. Listen, you're not going to make any money off tomahawk, but guess what? It's a good showpiece. You put a $180 or $150 tomahawk on somebody's check, and that increases the check average by how much? A lot. You know what I'm saying? And this is a good way. This is how you bring more business. You're not going to make money off the steak, but it increases the check average. And it shows a difference between this year versus last year, which is really important. You need to show that, hey, we're making more money, right? Maybe not more profit, but more money, right? And I think that's really important. So a good example that I like to use is, when I worked at Hotel Bel Air, I would touch tables, right? So I got off the fucking grill station, right? Put somebody else on the grill station, and we factored it in. And guess what? My labor didn't change. Okay, it didn't. It really didn't flip. It's not, it's not worth it. You're saving $150 max per shift. And when you look at that in the bigger picture, I think it's more important for the chef of the restaurant or the chef of the cuisine to go out and touch tables and say, hey, look, this dessert's on me, right? It's going to get people to come back. But you need to take it to the next step and say, hey, here's my business card, right? Next time you come in, this is, I want you to try something new. I want you to try this. Hey, I'm working on this new dish, right? That's what the chefs need to do. Work on new dishes, research and development, bring more, seasonal ingredients, procuring better product. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, and I'm telling you, they don't tell people that in the restaurant industry. What we do is we think we need to work more hours and more like slavery on the damn grill station to save what, $50 in labor. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. They're trying to chase that 0.2%. We'll cover P&L at some other time. I think that they're going to be going to be the most technical. It's going to be the most technical aspect of our podcast at one point. But like in my restaurant, I was like, I'm going to be allotted 2 hours. I'm going to walk around. This is the corporate one. I'm going to be allotted 2 hours. I budgeted. I was going to be allotted 2 hours to walk around, touch tables. And then if I had the because they gave us corporate cards, I would spend like 10 or $15 on whatever the fuck small app that he just come in. It's like, hey, it's on me. Please come back. Mention me by name next time, by the way. And maybe we can do a little something. But that was, I think that blew their brains why I wanted to do that. I was like, I think this will increase in value. I just don't think you guys understand what that concept is just right now. But yeah, man, I'm all for it. If I could budget it out, because I mean, currently right now, we're stuck I'm currently on the stovetop, but eventually when we get one more cook, I'll be out. I'm like literally on the tables. How was that meal? Is that great?
Yeah, because unfortunately, unfortunately for that 6th or 7th hour, you need to focus on cooking. You can't do anything else. You have to focus on the station. Oh, our product is intangible, therefore we have to market the experience. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I can't even tell you, man. And it took me forever to learn that. It wasn't until Wolfgang Puck was the one who told me. Wolfgang Puck was like, you should be out of the table. You shouldn't be here. Like I was in a hotel meeting, and you know how hotel meetings are. They're ridiculous, stupid. And when the finance team and banquet supervisor, when they fucking leave at 4:30 on a Friday, I'm just getting ready for service. But I remember Wolfgang was like, you should be talking about the food out in the dining room. I'm like, you're right. And I think that's really important, man. Yeah.
Very important. But again, like I said, upcoming podcasts, when we actually break down the P&L, I think I still have a couple saved up for my other one. I think I can show that one, but I have to scrunch through the stuff. But like understanding what that is, this is like level 2 shit. And this is what you're going to be, this is what's going to be on your lap as soon as you take that sous chef position, exec or CDC. This is like your bread and butter, how we can increase that bottom line. Anyway, one more topic. American food, Brandon, how do you feel about this? So what is quintessential American to you?
So you know what? Listen, that's actually a great point, and I truly believe that America has a special thing called barbecue, real barbecue, though. Okay, I'm talking about real barbecue, and I have a deep passion and I'm barbecuing today. Like, and here's the thing: I'm not going to get into we should, but the pellet smoker versus the stick burner, like the stick smoke, like solid fuel. I'm not going to get into that, man. I don't know how people get into like freaking wars on TikTok over that. And I'm like, listen, in all honesty, the convenience of the pellet grill, I'm not going to lie. Like, it depends on who you're feeding. Now, if I was in a barbecue restaurant, and I say I'm a traditional barbecue restaurant, then yes, I wouldn't be using a pellet smoker. But honestly, I'm gonna have both at some point. I'm gonna have a stick burner. I'm gonna have a pellet grill. But anyway, needless to say, the only other type of American cuisine that I think is true to us is Cajun Creole cuisine.
Yes.
So barbecue, like real barbecue, we can call
Mhm.
ourselves. That's American cuisine. I don't care what anybody says. Now, that's not to compare with cooking over fire, okay? Technically it is, but I'm talking about barbecue, like ribs, brisket, mac and cheese. Yeah, exactly. Barbecue is not a, yeah, you know what? I agree with you. Salty chef. And I think like a deep down in my heart, I have a deep passion for real barbecue. And I think over time it's kind of been bastardized just like everything else, but that is something that is we can call American. Now, that is
Oh,
not to be confused with like the Argentinian way of cooking with live fire, right?
mm,
We're not talking about that. Like I think a lot of people get upset, right? But and then Cajun food, right? Cajun Creole, down
mm,
south food, right? Now that's one section, and then you have like southern food, right? Like
and food. Exactly.
like
Grits,
it's like
cornbread,
yep, grits, cornbread, beans, like black eyed peas, things like that, like
mhm,
southern food, and then Cajun food, Creole food. I think that's definitely you can't even tell me that's not American
mm,
food.
yep. That's all American right there.
Yeah, and then like there's some like other things like you can go to different regions, but the truth of the matter is American food is also considered like fast food, right? Like if you
Yeah.
say like when you think of like McDonald's and Burger King, you kind of think of
Mhm,
American food, and it's kind of sad, but at the same time, listen, man, it is what it is. I
yeah.
think ultimately, right? You can say that. Yes, it kind of was developed in America, but
Mhm.
I just focus on what I think is true American cuisine being an American, right? And that for me is barbecue, Cajun, and Southern food.
Hey, preach. Just no okra, FYI.
Oh,
Just
you know what? Speaking of, I got some
omit
okra. I'm
that.
gonna try. I got some
Omit
okra in
that
my
from my
fridge right
fucking
now.
diet.
I got
Really?
some okra in my fridge. Yes, I want to try two recipes. I want to try two recipes.
Okay.
Two recommendations. One of them is we'll see. Golden Gully. He gave me a recipe for a Pakistani style okra, and another one is a dry fried okra, which I'm gonna try. But I'm gonna see. This okra that I have is a really good quality okra in season right now. I'm gonna try it, right? Like I'm not one of those people to like just shut off everything. If you give me a good recipe and it works, but as a chef, I kind of know exactly how it's gonna come out. Like,
It's gonna come
let's
out
be
like boogers.
honest.
What the fuck you're gonna
Yeah,
experience?
bro. Hey,
You
I
know.
can't wait. And now here's the thing. I remember saying this, and I remember replying to a comment. I had pickled okra, and
Okay.
but like, here's the thing. I'm not like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, it's actually edible. But I'm not gonna like if we had a barbecue and there's a jar of pickled okra and there's a regular jar of pickles or cucumbers or lacto fermented carrot or fennel. Dog, I'm not gonna pick the okra. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm just leave the okra. Fuck that. I'm not gonna. No, I'll move on. It's like that's the thing. Like if you go and you see a beautiful crusty hot macaroni and cheese, and then you see macaroni and cheese salad. Like a cold macaroni and cheese salad. You're gonna go for the hot mac, bro. You're gonna go for the
Yeah.
hot mac.
All the time.
It's the
All
same
the time.
same kind of principle. Yeah.
I probably pick up the okra and throw it away without telling anybody. Just FYI. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Don't fucking
Yeah.
give me okra. I will murder you.
Yeah, I had,
Just hate
and
it.
I
I really
forgot.
hate
You know what? I forgot to say that. I remember I had a sous chef trying to change my mind too, and he actually made a. He had okra, fried okra, but he treated it like fried chicken, and he used a
it. Okay.
cornmeal batter. And but just like I told him, I'm like, yeah, this tastes great. You know what? It tastes like the skin of like it tastes like fried like just the batter. Like you can't taste the okra at all.
It's like
Because it's
fried
so
cornbread.
heavily battered. Yeah, it's so heavily. Yeah, exactly. It's so heavily battered in hot sauce, buttermilk, and double dipped. Like you can't even taste the vegetable, so
Mhm.
it's fine. But I'm like, you
Oh
can't
my goodness.
consider this a win, right?
No, I really. Well, that just kind of brings us right into overrated and underrated. Brandon, how do you
Yeah,
feel
let's
about
get
pickling?
what?
How do you feel about pickling? pickling
Oh,
methods.
pickling. I love.
Pickling in general.
Listen, I wasn't really into it until I started working at Saison, and we fermented and lacto fermented everything, dude,
Hmm.
everything. And I got to be honest, I think what's really important is educating yourself. But I absolutely love pickling. Actually, there's a book. It's called The Japanese Way of Fermenting, and shoot, I wish I have it behind me, but
Mm,
if anybody's going to get into pickling, I really highly suggest getting this book. And here's the
mm,
other thing. I'm going to be honest. What's really important is if you're going to lacto ferment, and I truly believe this, if you're using vegetables that have a high water content, okay, i.e., fennel, peppers, zucchini, or whatever, cucumbers, do not add the 2% brine. Okay, take the weight of the
mm,
vegetables, then you add 2% salt to that weight of vegetables and let the natural juice come out. And then whatever juice you don't get after 4 to 5 hours, then you add your 2% brine to just cover. I think a lot of things, like we did a lot of research and development at Saison. So a good example is when we go to make a hot sauce, and this is a pro tip here. A lot of people would take the vegetable, raw vegetable, and then the 2% brine, they combine the two. I highly
mm,
advise against that. You will develop more flavor if you take the weight of the vegetables, then you add the salt directly, no water. Then let
mm,
the natural water come out of the vegetable, because you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at the flavor that comes out of raw onion, the flavor that comes out of cucumber,
mm,
the flavor that comes out of watermelon rinds, the flavor that comes out of fennel, peppers, the natural juice that comes out of them from the
mm,
salt. It's a game changer. So that's my only advice, is do that. I have a YouTube video on it when I made some hot sauce for chicken wings. But
mm,
I think it's so easy once you learn how to do it, especially making things like kimchi and sauerkraut.
mm.
Super easy. Just needs to be in a controlled environment. But
Yeah,
yeah, to answer your question, I think it's definitely underrated, and
definitely underrated.
for
I
sure.
my bread and butter in cooking is pickling. Asian
Yeah,
descent. We pickle the fuck
yep.
out of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I salt blanch everything. I have a video right now on my TikTok where I do the same preparation for my vegetables for my soba dish. I salt it,
Nice.
let all the stuff come out, and then I go ahead and garnish and add it into it. But it's a process that I think not a lot of people know of.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially,
Do you
it's
question? And you know what? I love using. I think my favorite vinegar to use. What's your favorite vinegar to use for pickling?
rice wine vinegar.
Yeah, me too, man. I was gonna say the same
I
thing,
it's, it's,
bro.
it's perfect. Like it's just amazing.
It
I don't even
is,
care about
dude.
anything else.
I hate to say it, but like we messed around, and like we were making our own champagne vinegar. We made our own apple
Mm,
cider vinegar. I made my own white wine vinegar. And listen, this is all good. But I'll tell you what, man. Rice wine vinegar is just does the trick for me, man. It's so well balanced, so well,
mm,
like, it's a really good vinegar. And here's the thing: what I didn't know is like, that vinegar can actually stop the fermentation process when you're lacto fermenting, which I think is another pro tip. Like, people put their pickles in the fridge. No, you don't have to. You could just add, I don't know the technical terms, so don't come after me, but like, I don't know if it's the pH or the alkaline level. I forgot, but I have to.
you
But
want
I
to lower
remember.
the water level, the pH level.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is.
Mm,
By adding vinegar, and then you can leave it room temp, and you don't have to. But I'll tell you what, Casey, I do really want to get back into that, because sometimes, in California here, we have farmers that have a surplus of shit. They have surpluses, and they want to get rid of it. And I love eating pickled vegetables as a side. You know,
yeah, me
pickled
too.
daikon, dude. I got a bomb pickled daikon recipe. Ooh,
Ooh,
dude,
sounds
so good.
already.
It's on my
You say
TikTok, man.
pickles,
And
I'm there.
yeah, and I love, but you're right. I love pickles. Okay, next question. Sorry, I'm getting all
Love pickles.
excited.
No, no, no. I'm all with you. Like I said,
Yo, as
I
yeah,
always,
as chefs,
always, my
dude,
friend.
as chefs, we just go down the rabbit hole of like, oh man, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah, it happens.
I'm totally with you. Okay. Um, Overrated, underrated, micromanaging. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've been
Oh,
under this in many forms or whatever. It's my most hated thing ever because
yeah,
I think you should just give the opportunity to the person, keep them accountable. But how do you feel about
yep,
this? Let's take it into perspective.
yeah.
Micromanaging from a chef
So
perspective,
so
like your
yeah,
exec pounding at you.
yeah. I think micromanaging is overrated, and I'm gonna be honest. I think nowadays, I think it's counterintuitive. And I think the thing is you have to let people fail to succeed, okay, in a controlled environment. And what I've learned is, the trust is up front, okay? So you set the expectation, and the problem is not all humans will meet that expectation, because we as humans, we love to shortcut. We love to do things. Like, I totally wrapped my head around this when I had children, okay? My son is 5. My son is 5, and let me tell you something, he'll try to slide it by me, you know? But the thing is I actually love it. I love it when he fucks up. Excuse my language, but I love it when he, because it gives me an opportunity to teach him a lesson. And the best part about it is like, okay, good example, take your shoes off before you, when your shoes have mud on them, you can't jump on the couch, you can't do this. But like, here's the thing, he's a kid, he's gonna do it anyway. He's gonna try to get away with it. It's our job to let it happen and then correct it, because once they've already done it, then they know they're guilty when you catch them, right? Good example, if I were to hold my kid's hand through the door with his dirty, muddy shoes and tell him, hey, take the shoes off, take the shoes off, take the shoes off, right? He would just do it instinctively, right? And then we would move on our day. But here's the thing, if I wasn't looking, he wouldn't do it. Now, where I'm not micromanaging, let's say I see him, I'm like, okay, he's about to come through the door with his muddy shoes on. I could see it. I let it happen. I say, hey, what did daddy say? And I do the same with employees. Like, hey, what did you think the expectation was? And then I turn it around and say, hey, listen, I'm not going to sit here and yell at you. Let's talk about it, right? And I know this sounds like a waste of time, but man, trust me, it is effective. Taking the 3 to 5 minutes out of somebody's prep day really sets them apart. So I think it's definitely, micromanaging is overrated. I think what is underrated is actually letting people fail. Let them fail, hold them accountable in a respectful way. And you will, trust me, you will only have the conversation a couple times.
Daddy told you to put the microgreens this way. No, it goes this way. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, good. Okay. One other thing, regular produce or organic produce.
Oh, easy.
A lot of people, a lot of people don't know. It's
Come
just
on,
like
let's hop right into this controversial topic. Okay, regular produce is underrated, bro. Organic is overrated. Now,
absolutely.
I am 100% behind that. And listen, there is a lot of farmers, especially with COVID now, dude, they got rid of the organic seal, but they ain't paying that shit anymore. They're like, you know what? If you don't want it, who cares? I swear to God, I saw this lady fight this farmer saying, hey, how come you're not organic anymore? Well, I can't support you if you're not organic. And you know what? The farmer was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't want to pay that. She's like, you're going to have to, I farm organically. You're going to have to pay $7 a pound instead of $3.50. And people don't have money right now. It's COVID. And she's like, well, if you're not sustainable, if you're not organic, I can't purchase from you. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, miss, listen, I'm a chef, and I'm not trying to, you can do whatever you want, but here, let me show you how to see if the produce, if you know the farmer, it's a different story, man. All you have to do, okay, here we go, because now you got me heated up.
You're wild up.
when you go to Whole Foods and you go to the organic section, you're gonna see that it's from Mexico, it's from Canada, it's from Chile, it's from Argentina. You know why? Because their USDA organic regulations, no bueno. You don't know their regulations. Matter of fact, it's not as strict as USDA organic, right? US. Now, when I go to the farmer's market and I see like Asian farmers, especially, they have all the Chinese vegetables, bro, they farm organically. They just don't have the seal because it's not worth the money. And I totally get it. And here's the thing, this is how you know, like, hey, this is what you have to ask the farmer. What do you use for weeds? What do you use to kill weeds? And they have two options. They either use, pesticide, or not pesticide, I'm sorry. They either use weed killer or they pluck by hand, right? Organically, you pluck by hand. Now, what do you use for pest control? You want the farmer to say ladybugs, okay? That's what you want them to say. But if you go to the produce and you see tiny little holes in the greens from the, like, especially on bok choy or any cabbages, listen, I hate to say it, I wouldn't like, in a restaurant, it's not really ideal, but this is a good sign. That means the bugs are eating the produce, which means there's no pesticides. I think that's really important to take in consideration. And yeah, organic is overrated. I think it's much better to know your local farmer and have a conversation with them. Bottom line.
Mm, bottom line, we don't buy organic. Never had. I will
Yeah.
always personally, I because so here's the biggest learning curve. When my wife and I got married, she would often, like, oh, why don't we go to Whole Foods? I'm like, babe, you can get the exact same thing, quality, from fucking like a local farm, but you just need to know how to look for the stuff. So it's been a
Yeah.
lifelong. It will be not a. I'm saying like
Yeah.
she's dead. It's a lifelong procedure. How to tell my wife how to pick the best produce from a
Yeah.
regular market. You do not need organic. You just need to be able to
You
pick
don't.
out
You don't.
right.
And like here's a good example. I'll leave, and I'll finish on this. There's a farm in it's close to LA. It's called Pudwill Farms. Okay, and I Pudwill berries. They're really good, but they're not organic, but they're really good. And I remember having a conversation with him, and it was funny because a lot of people give him shit for not being organic, but you know how hard it is to make consistent berries organic and not lose your
Yeah.
crop to
Mhm.
bugs and birds and all this. And so, and he's like, what people don't realize is Driscoll's organic. They use more organic pesticides because the pesticide is organic, right? And it's so they have to use more because it's not as strong. And with him, he just sprays ever so gently, right? Where like not just under where the bush is, like under the root, just as a deterrent for rodents and bugs to get on the actual plant. And the thing is like I totally agree with him. And I'm like, listen, and he's like, listen, we harvest fresh. This is what we do. It is safe to eat. It's ridiculous to charge. Okay, so he charges $4 a basket, whereas if it was organic, it would be double the price,
Yeah.
$7 or $8 a
Easy.
basket, my
Easy.
guy, a basket.
Easy.
Yeah. So
We're
that's
not
why a
trying to
lot of
trash
people,
Driscoll. FYI, we're
yeah.
not trying to trash Driscoll, but don't buy from Driscoll.
No, listen, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm actually here's the thing. I'm close to Watsonville, so I actually get the creme de la creme Driscoll. Yeah,
Oh
so I
wow.
get the really good. Yeah, so Watsonville is really close to me. It's literally 40 minutes away, and
Uh,
they have a big facility, but they're smart. So they started greenhousing their berries. Total smart.
mm,
That's why their berries are they're consistent. They suck, but they're consistent.
Thank
you
you for
yeah
saying that. They always suck. They
yeah
really do.
Yeah, they're only good two times a year, and that's summer. That's summer and late spring. So
Mm,
late spring and summer is when their berries are really good because of the climate. But then after that, dude, they are not sweet at all. They suck.
mm.
But
So just
it
go
is what it is.
FYI, if you want to sponsor us, just to let you know, we
Nah,
love you.
I wouldn't do it. I had to do a dinner. I had to do a dinner when working for Wolfgang. I had to do a dinner with them. Oh, they were raving about their berries, man. They
Ooh.
were raving. They were like, "We have the most consistent best berry on the market." Blah blah blah. I'm like, bullshit, bullshit, dude. Harry's berry strawberries in Oxnard, California.
Mm,
Harry, if you ever have a chance, Harry's berry strawberries. If you could ever get them, I know they started going to the East Coast, but if you could ever
mm.
get them, I'm telling you, they will. You will not taste a better berry. I don't give a fuck who. I've never
Wow.
tasted a better. Yeah, I've never tasted a better berry. They do such a good job. They're really good. I'll send you the
We
link.
get ours. Yeah, thank you. We get ours from Pennsylvania. We get most of our produce. Because it's just like, what am I supposed like? Instead of Jersey tomatoes will always be better in Jersey because when they're in season,
Yeah,
can't top it. All the
yeah,
berries, any other produce, literally Pennsylvania or California, because like it just
yeah.
it's not.
That's
It's
dude.
just
That's
not.
my that's dude. That's what I told my wife. I'm like, I'm scared to move out of California just because of the access of fruits and vegetables that we have here,
Yeah, you guys are so good in that
dude.
side, man.
Bro, no, you literally have no idea. LA or SF, man, I don't care what anybody says. California is what supplies the whole United States. And I'm telling you right now, dude, there's a place called Andy's Orchard. I'll send you the link. Andy's Orchard, dude, the stone fruit there, dude, I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, it's not just delicious, it's fucking
Mhm.
magical. Okay. You know why it is? I've been to the orchard, and it's because they pick it. They only pick it when it's ripe off the tree, so it's tree ripe.
Wow.
A lot of these companies
Wow.
are harvesting way too early. They ship it.
Mhm.
The fruit is not at its full flavor, and it ends up going bad before. And it's still hard. It ends up getting soft spots because
Mhm.
it's still hard. But once you pull the tree or the fruit from the tree, You want to cut like 1 or 2 days sitting room temperature, and then boom, it's ready to eat. And what's happening is people are harvesting way too early and then shipping. And then
Yeah.
once you put it in a cold environment, it completely stops the fruit from ripening. You know, it's just, it is what it is. But a lot of people are okay with accepting subpar quality, so that's what happens. It is what it is.
Driscoll, again, if you guys want to support, absolutely. We love you so much.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna hate on Driscoll, man. Honestly,
No,
I'll be
we're not
honest.
hating
My
on
kids,
Driscoll.
no, my kids love. I get strawberries from the farmers market every week, and I'll be honest, man. When if I don't have time to go to the farmers, then I'm just I'm at Costco. I'll just grab a clamshell of Driscoll's. But here's the thing: my 5-year-old son, he knows. He's like, Daddy, these aren't good. These strawberries aren't good. And I'm like, Yeah, you're
Oh,
right, bro.
even the kid,
I'm
even
like,
the little
but here's
mini
the
chef, like, get out of
yeah,
here.
he's like, bro, these aren't good. And I gotta admit, like, they're really not that big of a difference in price. So for the Driscoll, for the amount I get from the farmers market, it's literally about $3 to $4 off, right? So it's $3 or $4 for the better quality, and the strawberries from the market are beautiful.
I know,
dude. They're really good.
well, like I said, that's what we need to spend our time with: procuring better products,
Yeah.
increasing
Yes.
processes, driving business. That is our main goal as chefs. This is
Yes.
again, I keep saying this is like level 2, level 3 shit. Like in terms of management. But yeah, not too crazy. That is our overrated, underrated. I just want to thank Brandon again for taking the time today. You can catch him all at Chef Authorized and on YouTube, Brandon Dearden. I'll make sure all the links are down below. But you can catch the podcast at Chef Salty Pork Podcast everywhere streaming the video, man. Obviously on our YouTube at Chef Salty Pork. But other than that,
Peace
out.